fucking.
This is not
320p
the clip that I'm talking about.
Go ahead, just play it.
And I'm pretty sure I've seen
Boost the audio.
Speak on this is if a woman cheats or if she's unfaithful because her man's not, and he should just leave her, right? So a guy's allowed to exit the relationship, and her behavior is never justifiable.
Here,
If she cheats,
I'll do
it's
it.
never okay. If he cheats, nothing but compassion. She deserved it. So just super hypocritical. Duty sex is terrible, but also don't weaponize it. So it's a this and thing, and you have to check in with it. And I'm curious how long any of these people have been married and how many children they have and how happy they are, because there's also this idea that no matter what, you have to stay in a relationship, especially if there's kids. And I don't know that that's true. I think that they deserve to see their parents in love, and if you can't make that happen, I think there are way worse things by sticking it out for the kids. That's something I've kind of come around on as well. So I don't know. I hate this person so bad. We were actually supposed to go, me and a friend go on the show. I don't think it's going to happen because we did some due diligence, and they in the past have brought on a Navy SEAL. He flies all the way to Northern California to do the show. Knock, knock. Actually, we don't want to have you on. And it's because if you bring on a man, especially an alpha, these guys cannot stand it. They cannot stand it. All they want to do is sit across from women and bully them and badger them and dunk on them. And it's just an excuse to exercise actual sexism. And I don't use that word a lot because I don't think that it is as prevalent as it used to be and as much of a problem. But with this community, it absolutely is. Please don't get your relationship advice from there. Like, look for healthy, healed, whole, masculine role models. This is not it. If you are blaming half of the population for all of your problems and the answer is it's always just women, it's always just e-girls, it's always whatever, you might be the problem, buddy.
So this was on duty sex. This wasn't on the beating or the divorce or cheating. I think that was in reference to a duty sex tweet.
Yeah, got it. It was.
That's not what we were talking about earlier, though. We weren't talking about duty sex earlier.
It's referencing me, and the position is actually incorrect. Again, the referent is wrong.
Do we have your tweet on duty sex?
Incorrect. What's that?
Do we have the tweet that was on duty sex?
Yeah, so this is what you're referencing is we're talking from a Christian paradigm. So from a Christian, it's not a statement that women have or don't have duty sex. It's a statement from the position of the Christian or the Muslim paradigm, or let's say, X paradigm, that within that paradigm there is a duty that women have to fulfill the obligation of the marriage. And part of that would be sex, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it just seems like we're talking about we're talking about different things, because initially we were talking about abuse and cheating and divorce, and then now we're circling to duty sex. And then when I see Rachel Wilson in the comments, I don't make my titles. I don't think anyone does. So when it says that, that's not me. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, but you said you did your due diligence. We did our due diligence. We checked into this, and the whole thing's bullshit. What due diligence did you do?
I'm commenting on a tweet on duty sex. That's what I was doing.
Yeah, no. You said we did our due diligence when it came to the Navy SEAL and this type of thing.
My due diligence was asking references that I trusted. So, I mean,
Why
if you're
didn't you
saying...
ask Brian? Wouldn't that be your due diligence?
Well, no, it wouldn't, because if I don't believe that he's an honest actor, right? Because we've never met before, and all I've seen is like
Wait, can I ask you one? Yeah. Can I ask you one question?
Well, no, every time you ask me a question, I get cut off, and then if I try to talk, then you guys are like, no, let me finish.
Look,
so it's different rules
way
for
more
everybody.
than we have, just so you know. But go ahead.
You're asking what my due diligence was, and I was saying that I asked people that have said that they were either on the show, came on the show, their experience. Mm-hmm. So it's people that I would know or trust. So to reach out to someone that I already kind of see as a position of being in an adversarial position, like there's not really there's not trust built. So if you say something, I don't know you or your character.
Yeah,
so
that's totally fine. I mean, just one question though. Did you hear it directly from the said Navy SEAL?
I can't say. I'm not.
No, but like sometimes
throwing people under the bus.
A friend told you that they knew somebody who knew a Navy SEAL. Like, was it?
I can't, because it's going to give people away. I know. I'm sorry, but it's not.
I'm not asking who it is. I'm just asking. Did you hear it from the person? I
know, but the line of questioning is going to like throw certain people under the bus, and I'm not.
I mean, they threw me under the bus, but that's fine. Whatever. In any case,
don't even like reporters.
I'm not a reporter.
Have a story that they're commenting on.
I've never claimed to be a reporter.
Contact the source and verify it. Like, just ask them, hey, did this even happen? Like, how hard would that have been? If it's due diligence, like, how hard would it have actually been to just say, hey, did this actually happen?
I guess we disagree on how I should have approached it, and that's fine.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm guessing that you would not appreciate me putting a video out to hundreds of thousands of people, which was filled with besmirching lies about you, if I didn't do my, quote, due diligence. And maybe, like, I would have just DM'd you. I would have been like, hey, is this actually true? Like, is this actually what's going on? And then I get the other side of the story, right? I'm sure you would actually appreciate that more, wouldn't you?
I mean, I would, absolutely. But if I have full trust in someone else and they tell me something and they've done nothing to allude to the fact that, like, I need to be doubting what they're saying, then Like, why wouldn't I believe them?
Because you did your due diligence.
I guess,
That's what it means, right? Due
Sure.
diligence. But anyway, all right.
I mean, also just to like, I guess, provide you with an opportunity to potentially even verify the story. Like, if you want to get up and like text the individual and be like, hey, is this like, do you have any evidence for this? Like, what were the
I can
messaging
ask, and then I
exchanges?
can ask if he's willing for me to share it. Sure, I could do
Okay.
that. I'm
Yeah.
happy to.
I mean, I feel like it would be important for a Navy SEAL to like, that seems kind of like a position of I don't know.
It,
Honor.
Integrity,
Very honorable
honor.
position.
Like, he should clear this up.
I agree.
I think he should clear it up.
Yeah, I agree with
I
that.
don't know.
Sure.
That seems fair.
yeah, I'm willing to
'Cause,
text.
like,
I'm willing to text the person. Yeah.
That seems reasonable, but
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you, yeah, just totally.
Yeah, I'm not trying to argue. I'm willing to
that's
ask.
totally fine.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. But and you said there were like other people who also got turned away. I was curious about that too.
It was the same person. Not the same individual, like the same person, like was putting feelers out, and they've had, I don't know the girls' names, but like a bunch of like their girlfriends have come on, and like they were sharing stories with him, and then like there was a couple stories where guys got turned away, but it could have been what you were saying, right, where they weren't approved and they weren't supposed to be on the show in the first place.
I mean, we get dozens of messages a day of people requesting to be on the show.
Well, no, like
so when it comes to
physically.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, we turn people down if they DM us. Hey, can I come on the show? We send them a very thoughtful message. Like, we don't just like, most people just ignore DMs like that. Every single person who DMs us, even if we're not interested in having them on the show, we say, hey, unfortunately at this time, we, can't have you on. It's a little more diplomatic than that, but can't have you on the show. But we'll keep your DMs. If anything changes, we'll be sure to reach out. So we turn people down like
That you
in the
don't want.
DMs, but we've never had somebody like booked to be on the show, and then they come to the studio at the door. You can't be on the. Never has happened ever. Hasn't happened to a male. Hasn't happened to any women.
Sure,
So-
I appreciate you clarifying. And like I said,
Yeah.
I'm happy
Actually,
to
you
do the
know
text.
what? There was one woman who she showed up unannounced with a service animal. It was like a chihuahua. That shit was not a service animal. And I was like, and it was barking. It was barking. And normally we would try to accommodate somebody with a service animal, but it was clearly not a service animal. It was not trained to do a certain task. And it was barking, which would not be a reasonable accommodation. Like, we're recording audio. We can't have a barking dog in the studio. So in that instance, we did turn her away, although we did offer her, like, she came with a friend. I was like, can your friend watch the dog? That's the only instance where we're just like, we can't have the barking dog in the studio, and we turned her down. That's the only that's come to
Okay.
we've ever turned anybody away, and for good reason. But yeah.
Again.
All right, whatever.
Yeah.
We have a couple chats. Unless Andrew, you wanted to, was there more there, or I don't know.
Yeah, I did just want to point out, like, I do have the video in front of me. You have my tweet up, right? That's the referent. You're definitely talking about me, but you're literally misappropriating the position, even in the tweet. And then you go on to say that basically Andrew's a beta male. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to these guys. They're awful. They don't know. Blah 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 blah. Right? But the thing is like when you're talking about viewpoints, you're talking about from the view up. Right? So if I was going to reference a view that you had, and say from your view, is X, Y, Z true? Why is it true? I understand why. And then I would always make the reference to the Christian worldview. I'd say, here's why it's true from the perspective here. You would then go maybe back and forth, and you could say, hey, the Christian view is wrong, and here's why, et cetera, et cetera. In this case, though, you didn't even reference that the tweet was from the view of the Christian view.
I didn't know
you
that.
Reference it. Yeah, right. But again, due diligence. Do you know that you could have just?
Well, the
DM'd
due
me and been like,
diligence.
hey, what's this?
We're
tweet about?
meshing
And I
up
would've been like,
so
oh, it's
many
about this.
things in this one argument. So we started with me talking about about the clip, I thought we were talking about a totally different clip initially when we first started this interaction. So I thought that's why I thought I was thinking, well, Rachel is saying that I'm like intentionally lying. I'm saying I didn't know which clip we were talking about. It's not intentional. I thought we were talking about a younger, like that one younger co-host that I think you used to have, talking about cheating and abuse specifically in regards to divorce, and then the discrepancy there. That was a totally different clip that I'm now realizing we weren't. No, I know. I'm just establishing that I'm not intentionally lying. There's just confusion as to what content we're talking about. Moving on to the tweet about duty sex. If you're talking about this and there was more context, like obviously things get taken the wrong way in a tweet. So if there's like more interpretation that you have in regard to duty sex, happy to hear whatever your take is on that. The way that I read that tweet was that basically
from a Christian view,
well, it could be Christian, but there's
wives and husbands have a duty to sleep with each other. From a Christian view. Yes.
No, and I would agree with that.
You can find this in Paul when he's talking about depriving, right? Depriving each other sexually. He says that's a no-go. In Christian view, there's counseling which revolves around this, specifically that neither party is to deprive the other party of this thing. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is not something that I even think is a controversial view, right? But it's being mischaracterized here, and the reason you're mischaracterizing it is because you're trying to make it seem like Andrew Wilson's a monster, and what he's trying to do is say that women have an obligation to have sex at the demand of their husband. And it's like, well, that's not only such a mischaracterization, but we could have cleared it up in 5 seconds. You could have just asked. And I would have been like, here's actually what's going on.
You know what you're doing when you're tweeting too, which is why you're successful and why you have a big account and why you get so much engagement. So like there is a little bit of that edge when you are going to a tweet. So it's not like I just fell into this tweet and intentionally misrepresented you and it was like a blatant mischaracterization.
So what you're saying is that it was a bait tweet. You felt
no, I'm saying that you're very good at what you do. I'm saying you're very good at what you do and you're good at ruffling feathers and you know that people like me.
You couldn't have fallen for the bait, though, if you had done your due.
We're not doing due diligence on a tweet, sir.
Why not?
Because it's a tweet, right? It's black and white text right there, and if you do something
it's black and white.
If there's
there's more context.
Well, no, there's not context. Well, now that you have like more characters available, but there's not. Especially if there's a shorter tweet, right? You want it left open to into interpretation. That's the whole point. Good job, right? It worked.
Due diligence would be like, hey, what did you mean by this, right?
No, because
I do got to move it on.
Okay.
I do got to move it on. It was, but.